What would you do if you were the first human to meet a wolf at night? Not a pet, not a friend, a shadow with teeth. It stands beyond the fire. Its eyes reflect the flames. Your tribe sleeps behind you. Your child is wrapped in animal skin. Your hand grips a stone. And then the wolf does something strange. It does not attack. It does not run. It just watches. And for one terrible moment, you feel it watching back. Not like a tree, not like rain, not like meat, like another mind. So here's the question. Did ancient humans survive because animals were mindless machines? Or did we survive because some animals were more like us than we wanted to admit? The easy answer is simple. Animals do not know they exist. They just eat, they run, they mate, they sleep, they react. That answer feels safe. It puts humans on a mountain. It puts everything else below us. But the deeper reveal is much darker. Because the more we study animals, the more that mountain starts to crack. And the crack begins with a mirror. In 1970, a psychologist named Gordon Gallup Jr. created one of the most famous tests in animal science. It was called the mirror test. The idea was simple. If an animal could recognize itself in a mirror, then maybe it had a sense of self. Not just a body, not just instincts, a self. The test worked like this. First, the animal was made unconscious. Then, a small mark was placed somewhere on its body, a dot on the forehead, a sticker near the ear, a mark it could not see directly, only in a mirror. Then the animal woke up. It was placed in front of the mirror, and scientists watched. Most animals failed. A dog might bark, a cat might stare, a monkey might threaten the reflection. To them, the mirror showed another creature, another rival, another stranger. They did not understand. The enemy was themselves. But some animals did something different. They looked at the mirror. Then they touched the mark on their own body. That tiny movement changed everything. It suggested something enormous. The animal understood. That is me. Chimpanzees passed. Bonobos passed. Orangutans passed. Some gorillas passed. Dolphins passed. Orcas passed. Elephants passed. And one bird shocked everyone. The Eurasian magpie. A small black and white bird with a brain tiny compared to ours. It looked into a mirror. It saw a mark. And it reached toward itself. This sounds modern, but imagine what it would mean in the ancient world. Imagine an early human leaning over still water, for the first time, seeing a face below, a face moving when he moved, a face staring back. At first, maybe he thought it was a spirit, a twin, a ghost trapped under the river. Then, one day, he touched his cheek. The water face touched its cheek, too. That moment may have been terrifying, because self-awareness is not just intelligence. It is a wound opening inside the mind. It is the birth of the question, who am I? And after that, another question follows. Will I die? That is why this subject matters. Not because mirrors are interesting, but because survival changed when ancient humans began to understand themselves. A creature that knows itself can plan. It can hide fear. It can lie. It can remember shame. It can imagine tomorrow. It can bury the dead. It can paint animals on cave walls. It can whisper to spirits in the dark. It can look at a wolf and wonder, is there someone inside that skull, too? For a long time, we wanted the answer to be no. Animals were bodies. Humans were souls. Animals reacted. Humans reflected. Animals survived. Humans understood survival. But the mirror test had a problem. It was built for eyes. And not every animal lives through sight. A dog does not read the world the way we do. A dog lives inside a storm of smell. To a dog, the ground is a history book. Every footprint is a sentence. Every tree is a message. Every breeze carries a map. So asking a dog to know itself by sight may be unfair. It may be like asking an ancient hunter to recognize his tribe by the shape of their shadows. Wrong sense, wrong test, wrong answer. In 2017, researcher Alexandra Horowitz changed the question. She gave dogs a scent version of the mirror test. Instead of asking what they saw, she asked what they smelled. Dogs were presented with their own urine. Then their own urine altered. Then unfamiliar urine. And the dogs spent more time investigating the altered version of their own scent. That matters, because they noticed something. Something about me has changed. Not another dog, not random smell. Me. So maybe dogs did not fail the mirror test. Maybe the mirror failed dogs. That should make us pause. They survived by reading animal worlds. A hunter who ignored smell died. A gatherer who ignored bird calls died. A child who thought every animal sensed like a human did not live long. Our ancestors had to understand that every creature carried its own reality. The eagle lived in distance. The snake lived in vibration. The wolf lived in scent. The bat lived in echoes. And humans lived in stories. But knowing who you are is still not the same as knowing that you are. This is the deeper layer. A dog may know its scent. A dolphin may know its reflection. A magpie may know its body. But doesn't know it is alive. Doesn't know it is having an experience. Does it know that it knows? There is a word for this. Metacognition. It means thinking about thinking. It means awareness of awareness. It is what you are doing right now. You are not just hearing these words. You know that you are hearing them. You can step outside yourself. You can watch your own mind move. Ancient humans may have felt this as a strange inner voice, a watcher behind the eyes, a second self, the one who says, "Do not enter that cave. Do not trust that stranger. Do not eat that rotten meat. Do not sleep too far from the fire." This inner watcher may have saved lives. It allowed humans to doubt. And doubt is a survival weapon. But if animals can doubt too, then they may not be so far from us. In 2007, researchers at the University of Georgia tested rhesus monkeys. The monkeys were given memory questions. After each one, they had a choice. Take a harder test for more reward, or take an easier test for less reward. If the monkeys were confident, they chose the harder test. If they were unsure, they chose the easier one. That sounds simple, but it is not. They were not just answering. They were judging their own knowledge. They knew when they knew, and they knew when they did not. That is not a machine reacting blindly. That is a mind checking itself. Rats have shown something similar. When uncertain, they can choose to skip a test. They take a smaller, safe reward instead of gambling on failure. Pigeons can signal memory failures. Dolphins hesitate before uncertain answers. Again and again, animals show signs of inner monitoring. Not human speech, not philosophy, not cave paintings, but something older, a survival sense, the feeling of maybe, the feeling of I am not sure. Imagine how powerful that would be in prehistory. A monkey unsure about a branch might live. A wolf unsure about a trap might avoid it. A raven unsure about a human camp might wait. A deer unsure about a shadow might run. Uncertainty is not weakness. Uncertainty is intelligence, slowing down death. For ancient humans, this ability became enormous. We could imagine mistakes before making them. We could look at footprints and think, maybe lion, maybe yesterday, maybe still near. We could watch clouds and think, maybe storm, maybe flood, maybe move camp. Metacognition gave us a future. But it may not have given us a kingdom. It may have only made us one branch on a much older tree. Still, science hits a wall, a hard wall. We can watch animal behavior. We can record choices. We can scan brains. We can test mirrors. We can measure scent. But we cannot climb inside another creature's experience. We cannot feel what it feels. Philosophers call this qualia, the raw feeling of being alive, the redness of red, the sting of pain, the warmth of firelight, the fear in your chest when branches snap at night. This is the real mystery. Is there something it feels like to be a dog? Is there something it feels like to be a wolf outside the first human fire?